Okay, awesome. Hey, guys, it's Landline. You're on Landline. The last real conversation. It's where you can come to pitch a story or a fit. And today it's just you and me. We are doing an AMA, Ask Me Anything. I'm going to use this time to talk about pitch decks because that's the thing people are constantly asking me about when I'm off the clock and don't want to talk about pitch decks. Like parties, grocery stores, funerals, everyone has questions about pitch decks. And the people who do know about pitch decks don't want to ever tell anybody. So today, for you guys, I'm going to talk about pitch decks, specifically for film and television. For those of you who are writers, screenwriters, directors, someone with too much time on their hand and is convinced they have a show idea but don't know how to get it off the ground. We're going to get into what a pitch deck is, why you need it, how to build one, and why people make the same 5 dumb mistakes every single time. So if you've got a question or want to pitch me something live, the phones are open. Quick disclaimer, this is not a masterclass. It's a conversation you wish you had with your successful friends if they would actually tell you the things that got them successful instead of keeping it all a secret. Okay, first up, what is a pitch deck and what isn't it? It is a visual sales document for your movie or TV show. It's like a Super Bowl commercial for your project. It's a little taste, a vibe, an irresistible invitation, not a homework assignment for the reader. So this means if you have like a script and like a movie or a show idea, your deck is a visual presentation that should leave me saying, damn, I want to read that script, not ugh, I feel like I already read it. It's your visual sales pitch of your movie or TV show. It is not a book report. It is not a novelization. It is not about proving you can write. This is not the place for that. No one cares. Also, most people don't want to read. So a pitch deck, you're trying to get them to want to read your script. They haven't bought into wanting to read yet. So don't put your full script in there. A deck isn't the movie. It's the movie trailer. No one shows up to watch behind the scenes for a movie they haven't even seen yet. So that's where we have initially what it is. It's not an overview of your project. It is marketing your project. Next, I want to talk about what's a pitch deck for. Okay. It is the tool that gets in front of producers, executives, reps, and financiers that make a TV show or movie made. If you ever want to make a show or a project or a movie, you have to have a pitch deck. And it has to be visual, and it can't be on PowerPoint slideshow like you're talking about your, fishing trip to Michigan or something. So now it is the thing that accompanies your script that you send in usually cold to an agency to, like, for example, you would send into your contact at Netflix or, the open call at Ryan Reynolds production company or whoever, and you just send it in, and it's what gets someone to open your script and take a meeting. A lot of times when I'm working with people, especially kind of early on, they talk about how great their script is and how people will want to read it. That is every downfall for a creator, is assuming people will want to read your stuff. No one wants to read anything. We have to sell them into entering the room. You're inviting them into your world. Unless you're, someone who is a guaranteed financial slam dunk, you have to coax someone into thinking your script is worth a damn because it's an investment for them. It's time, it's eyeball space that they could be spending looking at their YouTube on the toilet. Our world right now is so saturated with visuals, you need to make it worth it. So it's to get someone to open your script and take a meeting. And it's not how you explain your script. Again, it's how you sell it. So next, I want to talk about the elements every pitch deck should have. Here, I'm just going to do a quick breakdown because there's obviously so many ways that you could go into it, but these are the basics that I try to make sure everyone gives me when they come to me with pitch deck content. First and foremost, you need a log line. Log lines are so difficult. I'm getting really nerdy now, but it's like your Comic-Con sneak preview. It is the one thing that has to tell everyone immediately what your project is, and it has to establish protagonist, the goal, the stakes, and some sort of irony or surprise. It can be 1 to 2 sentences only. It's a hook. Common pitfall here is that people write a summary or a synopsis of their script instead of a hook. I mean, the best ones are 1 sentence. It just tells me who we're going with and where we're going. And that's all we need to know. It is okay if this takes you weeks to write. It should take you a long time to write. This is the business card for your script. It has to be the most intentional 1 or 2 sentences of your life. Next, tone. This is really the star of a pitch deck. And it's frequently misunderstood because it's sort of a ephemeral topic. The tone of a show or movie is how you make the audience feel while they're watching it. A more colloquial way of saying that is like, it's the vibe. So it's not the story and it's not the plot. Okay, so to explain tone, I wrote up something like, if I were to try to explain the story of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, I can pitch that song in 2 tones. Tone 1 is like, it's a horror song with black and white visuals and creepy ambient music behind words and the stars falling from the sky, like, you know, like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Or it's a 90s rom-com with pink bubble letters and soft guitar music and shots of 2 people looking at each other laughing. It's the night sky falling in love. Ha ha ha, twinkle, twinkle, little star. Like, the idea is you can go in so many different directions. You say the log line, this is what we're getting into, and then you immediately establish visually, how am I going to feel? Because you don't need to tell me about the story. I have a script for that. What the script doesn't have are any visuals and no music. Like, there's no other way to establish any kind of audio visual context for this enormous thing you've created. Usually what I include around like the tone section is a section called world. And that's where I establish the kind of cinematic world you're going into, as opposed to, say, locations, which isn't something else you can also include. It basically is, how does this world look, smell, sound? If I'm in space, I need to know what this kind of space is. Is it in the future? Is it in the past? Is it present day? Is it in the near future? If it's anything that's other than literally real life New York City today, it's worth explaining because people want to understand what world we're talking about. And even if it is real world today, for example, Russian Doll, the world needed to be established a lot because the idea was it's in a real place, but it's going to be a very different kind of real place. So of course it depends on your topic or your script and the world that you have. And like, for example, a Star Wars world was way more expansive than, I don't know, the Pisces world, which was basically Santa Monica. But it's usually a good idea to establish world. Locations less so, especially if you're getting into a series or something, because all of a sudden you're location scouting and it's just way too much. And another example where it's kind of both is Severance. The location of the office is the world. Characters, you want to do stuff like characters, don't tell me what they're doing in the story. If we're going to do some beats on characters, a lot of things people forget to do is like, just tell me what, this is a descriptive part. This is, you know, physical characteristics. One of the main things people forget is like, what's their age? Look, ageism, it's who gives a shit? It's more like, give me the things that you've taken for granted that I would know because you've been living there forever in the script. So names, age ranges, key personality traits. I want to know what they're like, not what they're doing. What they're doing, I can learn elsewhere. Keep it short, keep it punchy. Here, visuals are great. If you have pictures of casting ideas, use them sparingly. I recommend not using headshots. Use them in situ, like in a film that is similar to the one that you, like a similar vibe tonally. Never pull something in your deck that is incongruent with the tone you've established in that first section. So if you're like, I want to use Jennifer Lawrence, or I think she would be really great. I visualized her the whole time while I was writing this. And then, but it's for a horror film and you choose No Hard Feelings, right? A picture of like a rom-com with her for the character page. It's too incongruent. Don't do that. Pick something where it's the same. It all fits together. Okay. Now there is the possibility that if you want, You can touch on story. If you want to, it is a brief overview, 1 to 2 paragraphs only. And the point is that it gets you to want to read the script. This is your elevator pitch. This is what you could do if it's 2 paragraphs. That if I was in an elevator with someone and I got to speak for 2 minutes and then they stop and ask me questions or want to learn more about it, that's what the rest of the deck is. But it's not a summary. It's not a step by step, because what people don't realize is when it starts to get too long, you essentially start storyboarding your series or your own TV or film, and you're not going to be good at that. What you want is to be as punchy and succinct as possible. The other optional sections you can have are, if you want to have cinematography, you can have that, like giving some visual context, some styles. If one of the things is really important for you, like, okay, we're going to have handheld camera, or we're going to have, like there are flashbacks. Here's how I present. Here's how I think that they should be portrayed. This is more of like if you're doing a director's pitch deck. Another section could be themes. What are the philosophical, political, emotional themes? This is something that people will include if they feel like they're doing something that's specifically culturally relevant at the time, which leads to the next section that's included sometimes, which is the why now. Why does this story matter today? Very few stories are new, if any. I think there's 9 or something. So the themes and the why now are that extra step to say, hey, this is why this matters now. An example of this would be like I was working on someone's deck where they were talking about polyamorous relationships, and it was being written about in, like New York Times and New York Magazine, all these things. So she was like, okay, hey, let's include a section of why now, because this is very much in the zeitgeist. Another example of a why now would be if you want to get some intellectual property and it's based on a bestseller, right? So you have a section where it's showing like people really care about this book. I developed a deck with a great team for a book, and at the time it was bestseller, et cetera, et cetera. So we put that in there to show like this is a huge, movement and energy and things like that. Why now shouldn't be, and this kind of gets to the next section, it is not a personal plea of why you care about it. This is the same thing as a director's statement. At no point do I want to hear about you unless you are pitching yourself as a director for a project that you did not write. Let your work speak for itself. No one wants to hear feelings or this means a lot to me because I had this childhood trauma and this is why you should care. I don't care. I'm not going to give you $1 million so that you can work out what you could be working out in therapy. What I want to know is, why will people respond to this? Common pitfalls are people confuse a logline with a summary. People confuse tone with story. People over narrate. People assume their reader knows things they never state, like a character's age. And people overload the deck. Keep it clean, sharp. Do not turn your deck into a journal or a diary. It's not your life story. It's a sales pitch. If they want to know more, that's the point of reading the script. And if they want to know more about you, cool. If they do, they'll ask for a meeting. But at this point, we're just trying to get them on board with engaging with your world. Before we close, I have big news. I'm launching The Frequency, which is a secret society within Landline all about pitch decks. It's where we're going to have articles, videos, private chats. And for the first 100 subscribers, I'm offering a personal 1-hour pitch deck consultation. So subscribe to Landline as a Frequency member, and it'll immediately send you a link so that you can book a consultation with me, and we'll get your pitch deck jazzed up and awesome. The Frequency is not for everyone. It's for people who want to get their dreams out of their head and up on the big screen. So